as you can see on the left, a bit of a drawing of what I'm attempting to build. Here you can see me cutting all the panels down to size. Just using my cross-cut jig now, and then basically moving on to pocket holing all the parts so it can all be put together. This trend pocket hole jig I'm using, highly recommend it. Cracking bit of kit for the money, and the dust extraction on it, getting out hoover hooked up to it, and it's bang on, to be fair. I used to use one of the cheap Chinese rip-off ones that I think I bought it off Wish or somewhere like that, or eBay, and to be fair, it didn't patch on this system. I think this cost about 100 quid, or just over. But it's great. I mean, with the hoover attached, it kind of sucks the panels in to the jig. So, like I say, I highly recommend it. Now it's time for a bit of a clean up on the panels. Just a quick sand over, just get rid of any sort of rough bits, especially around the pocket holes where I've been cutting them. This is a unit I'm making for the daughter's wardrobe. Well, it's in one of the kiddies' bedrooms. I've done one in the past, but and it kind of helps out with storage compared to how the wardrobe is originally. So the daughter wanted another one for the grandson's bedroom. It's not as sort of complex as the one I did before, but it'll certainly help out with better storage. This plywood I'm using, to be honest with you, isn't the best. It's stuff from Ikea. From B&Q, and there's a lot of voids in it. But for what I'm using it for, it's perfectly adequate. It's going to be hidden away inside a wardrobe. And some of the edges are going to be edge banded anyway, anything on show, and it's just going to be painted up after anyway, so like I say, I think it'll be perfectly adequate, but it certainly isn't anything for fine carpentry. Now it's time to get a bit of the edge banding done. This banding I've got is just some as I had knocking round as I thought I'd use. Grab the wife's iron to stick it on with. And to be fair, it sticks on quite well. It's pretty simple process to be fair. I use the clamps with like an L bracket just to hold the panel upright. It just helps sort of stabilise it while you're messing with it. Holes in this panel. This is the bottom shelf, and the ones at the front shelf, the edge that I'm banding now, them pocket holes went in the wrong place. Basically too far forward. It doesn't matter really, I ended up not using them and just pocket holed into the side of the unit. It was wood glued in place anyway, so it was no big deal. Now it's time to start the construction of it. Putting these cross members in. Everything pocket holed and wood glued together. The screws I'm using, to be fair, aren't proper pocket hole screws. They're just bog standard screws. When I had a look, I hadn't got any, so I have used them before, and because everything's sort of wood glued, it does tend to hold it together pretty well. Like I say, they're not the genuine article, but they do hold it together. As long as you don't go too mad when you're tightening them in, they do hold quite well. You can see now I'm putting this bottom shelf in. If you look at the front, you can see them pocket holes I put in the wrong place. I didn't realise till I come put this panel on, but like I say, it's no big deal. It's all wood glued in place anyway, and screws on. It's just sitting on the bottom, so it isn't going anywhere. This panel I'm putting on now, there's there's a bit of a void in the cupboard when it goes in. Um, and basically you've got to have a bit of a spacer there. It's dead space in effect. So it kind of spaces it out from the wall so that there's no problem pulling the drawers out after. So they're not kind of fouling the door or the wall. So like I say, it's a bit of dead space really, but it's unavoidable. It had got a bit of a bow in it, this piece of wood had. So I end up moving the clamp up and straightening it all up as I'm going up while I'm putting the fixings in. Now it's time to put the final piece on, which is the top. Like I say, another wood glue and pocket holes. I don't think it'll go anywhere. Well, anything I've built never has anyway, so it's perfectly good enough. Like I say, using the screws I'm using and not the genuine articles, but they do seem to hold okay, certainly just while the wood glue's going off. Just trying to square it all up here. As you can see, there's a couple of pocket holes there that were kind of drilled by mistake, but it's nothing on show, it's all hidden away, so it's no big deal. Now it's time to get the paintbrush out. I sometimes paint these when they're in flat panels. It depends on if they're going to be difficult, if there's any tight areas get in, but because this was pretty open, it was easy enough just to do with sort of brush and roller when it was all built up. I'm just using a bit of, I think it's Leyland primer. I give it a coat of that, 2 coats in total, Leyland primer, and then a final coat eggshell white, so sort of topped off. So in the end, I had sort of 3 coats, which left it with a sort of a pretty decent finish. It's not my favourite part of the job, this isn't. I'll be honest with you, I haven't got much patience for the painting side of it. If I can avoid it, I will do. But it has to be done, so you have to get on with it. I did buy a spray gun. I've got one of these Wagner spray gun things, which works quite well, to be fair, but it's just too much. You get too much overspray with it, and it just takes longer. I think, you know, by the time you're sort of doing the clean up and everything that goes with it. You know, for something this size, if you're doing a load of stuff, it's ideal. But for something this size, it's just isn't worth getting out. And I can, to be fair, you know, you do get a good finish with it, but I can get a half decent finish with using a small sponge roller like this. So, like I say, it isn't worth getting out for sort of a project this size. Like I think I've already mentioned, after I'd done this, give it its first coat, I give it 24 hours dry. It's a bit cold this time of the year, so it takes a bit longer for dry. I'll give it 24 hours dry, give it a quick rub down, and then another coat of primer undercoat, give that another 24 hours and a bit of a rub down after, and then give it its final coat of eggshell white, which I'd just got knocking around the garage. It's a matter of using what I got knocking around, to be fair, so make the job a bit cheaper. If it's something that's going to be on show all the time, I'd probably give it 2 coats of eggshell. But to be fair, the finish on it was pretty good with just the 1 coat. And like I say, it's going to be locked away in a wardrobe anyway. So I think it'll be okay. Now I'm just drilling the holes for the drawer slides. I made a bit of a storage stick so I'll keep the same hole centres. Using a drill with a flag on so I don't go too deep. Now I'm at the daughter's house to fit the unit in the cupboard space you can see behind. Here I'm just notching some corners out to just go over the skirting boards. Normally I'd scribe them in, but with it being inside this cupboard, I couldn't see much point, to be honest with you. It's all going to be hidden away. Now it's time to fix it back to the wall, just so it doesn't move around. Now I'm fixing some battens to the wall above. There's again a shelf in there. There was originally a shelf a little bit lower down. You can see the fixing points. I'm just moving it up about 6 inches. Basically using the same bits that were there. Just raising it slightly so that I can fix a rail underneath it then. Now I'm fixing the rail hangers, just one each side, and going to be a centre one as well on there. I did end up taking this shelf back off again and fixing it down from the top, just so to make sure it wouldn't move around. Now it's time to fix the bottom rail, which is the final part. Now all we need is the baskets, which I'm currently waiting on from Ikea. Hopefully they won't be too long.